Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Huh?
Hey, what's going on? Freakazoids. I think this will be an interesting show for you guys. Oh. How do you know? How do you know I'm a Gallia? What is this? Wow. That steam just popped up on my screen. Wow, thanks. I'm a Gallia. Holy crap, look at that. 5 memberships right out of the chute. Appreciate that. So we got 2 things to talk about at the beginning here. One of them is, the Alex Pretti guy, the goody two-shoes that was shot. Everybody thought he was just the kindest guy, just such a great citizen, and the cops just sort of, the ICE officers just kind of grabbed him, and, he was just doing his own thing. And then after that, I actually went out and I got the probable cause document in the Joseph Bragg case. It took me a long time. I tracked down precisely where he's also in Minnesota, believe it or not. So I tracked down precisely who has it. It was all the way to I think it was in the district attorney's who gives out the probable cause. And man, I just sent a letter and boom, they sent it right over. It was like that was pretty cool. Couldn't believe it. So that's what we are going to do first, and then we're going to go over the missing person case of Dan Davis, or like Daniel Dan. He goes by Daniel Dan, short Davis, but they call him Dan. But obviously his official name is probably Daniel, right? Not too bad, Bruce Holdaway. How's it going? All right, so why don't we start off with the video here, right? Now, there's absolutely zero doubt that this is the same guy. In fact, he's wearing exactly the same clothes. I mean, look at this guy. He's wearing the same clothing and everything. And you can they know it. They actually verified it's him. See that? Look at him. He's spitting at the cops, or the ICE officers. Apparently, this was like on the 13th. Let's see, right at the end, it has the name of the news movement is where this came from. All right, but look at this. I mean, I think it might be better to put it in the Adobe. Let's put it into Premiere here and see what happens. Well, hey, I'm glad you were able to buy him over here, Amagalio. Let's see. I'm going to put this right in here. All right. So look at this is the guy right here. We've all seen it.
This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis.
Here, I'm just going to mute the voice, but look at right there. And look at it. Look, he goes over and he's boom. Yeah, good old peaceful Alex Pretti, man. The nurse who works in a, for the, I guess he works at a VA hospital. I mean, what is he doing out here? This is another incident where he's kicking the rear view mirrors. Oh, did he really? He quit his job. Okay, yeah. See, that's the thing, man. I didn't realize it. So he quit his job and he was out there protesting. But look at this. He kicks the freaking vehicle. Then the ICE officers come out. I mean, he broke the damn thing. And then they wrestle him to the ground, right? And then, interestingly, he even has his firearm on in this video. It's underneath that shirt. And then you can kind of see the bulge of it right there. He's got it in exactly the same spot that it was when they got him. They're going to play it again, I guess. So let's see. He probably quit his job to go out and start protesting. You know how these guys do it. I mean, this is Mr. Goody Two-Shoes out there. He's a great guy. Oh, yeah. Remember how he was just there trying to help that lady up? And, oh, man, he's great. That's what great people do right there. Really peaceful people. They kick the lights on an ICE officer's vehicle and then, try to keep that. What I mean, he was spitting on him. I mean, that's assault right there. This guy's an idiot. All right. I mean, I apologize, but I don't have any sympathy for him at all. Like, I just don't. I think it's none of it should have happened because, like Megyn Kelly today said exactly what I told you guys, that it was an error made, but it was a reasonable judgment because somebody yelled gun, 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 and they fired. And it turns out he'd already had the gun removed from him. And it was an error, but it's not something that was illegal because it was reasonable at the time. But look at there's the clown right there. Look at him. This guy right here. Now let's go back a little bit here when he's on the ground. Yeah, it's weird too. They must have noticed that he had that firearm because of the way they were handling, but they let him up, and there he is. I mean, look at right there. Look, there's the gun right there on his side. Yeah. Let me zoom back out again. And there he is over there, acting all indignant, like they did something wrong. You mean after you kicked? Look at him over there. What a loser. I mean, you just kicked in the freaking headlights, okay? This is another incident, okay? So this should definitely change people's opinion about him being this really peaceful, nice guy that was just this great nurse and everything. And an officer just mistook everything and shot him, okay? Now, this guy was a full-blown, protester, radical nut job. That's what they do, these kinds of things. I don't think they took his name and then targeted him. He showed up again to another event. That's really ridiculous, that comment. All right, right there. So there he is standing there. Now he's got the shirt over where the gun is. I mean, that's a ridiculous comment. I think they took his name and then they targeted him. You mean he shows up at another event and they targeted him? No, I think he targeted them. He was there. You know, none of the stuff Christy Nome said was accurate. I even thought that when I was listening to it the first time. I go, no, he wasn't brandishing a gun. None of that stuff. But he put himself in a dangerous situation. I can't tell you how many times on this show I've told you the moment you don't do what police say and you struggle with them, the odds of something bad happening go up 1,000-fold. I mean, it is literally, you're putting your life in your hands when you do shit like that. And thank you up there to Imagalio. And it's weird that on my other stream, Lady Jane's doesn't show up on there. Oddly. Not sure why. Strange. Who wants people residing here that evade legal citizenship? I hope someone, releases records of how much is being paid to protesters. Right. Yeah, and they were talking on Megyn Kelly's podcast, maybe about increasing the amount of money that you give to these illegal aliens to self-deport. I wouldn't care at all. Yeah, it sounds like a great idea. You know, the amount of money that we spend on them when they're here is dwarfed by if you give them $2,000 to leave. And then someday you might be able to come back. And boy, this is what I'll guarantee you guys. If the next administration is of the opposite party, there will be a absolute rampage at the gates, and they'll just be allowed back in again. You watch. That's how it's going to work. Maybe if you had Fetterman in there, no, that would not happen. Hey, welcome, Lady Jane. Anyways, I think if you just watch this, it's absolutely clear that this guy isn't just some peaceful protester guy that got wrapped up in something. And yes, he had a legal firearm, blah, 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 blah. In this case, they must have noticed it, but they still let him go, you know. But look how he's resisting the whole time, you know. Like he's not somebody who just goes, okay, you got me, you're right, you know. He thinks like somebody owes him something. I mean, look at right here. He spits. Look at, boom. Spits on him. And then he kicks the rear view mirror, and then it breaks. And then that made him stop and go, hey, you know, and they got out. And, you know, in this case, he didn't get shot or anything. But it could have easily escalated to that. If somebody had just right in that situation, had they seen the gun on him and said, he's got a gun, there might have been an officer that shot him because they weren't sure what that meant. Yeah, that was so weird how that let's see, Lady Jane. I see probably a page. I see you're commenting over here, but you're on the StreamYard stream setup. It didn't show anything in there. But anyways, there you go. There you have it. Like, does that change anybody's sort of opinion on, you know, I still think the shooting itself, it was an error, obviously. But the image that they tried to paint of him is ludicrous. You know, he's not this peaceful person. And as I've said many times, the governor of Minnesota and the mayor of Minneapolis are the ones that have stoked up the resistance to allowing ICE to perform their lawful duties, removing illegal aliens, and especially the ones that have committed crimes. And the mayor and the governor told people to get in their way, block what they're doing, creating a dangerous situation. I think they should be brought up on charges of negligence because they knew very well that the position they're putting their own citizens in has a likelihood of causing bodily harm. Yeah. And just like usual, guys, if you're watching the show, if you have the ability to help support the Grant Hughes Investigates YouTube channel, getting near the end of the month, we got today, tomorrow, and the next day, and then the next day after that is the final day of the month. So if you have the ability to and feel like oh, jeez. Feel like you want to support the channel, that would be great. You think he's a drug? Yeah, maybe. I mean, who the hell knows, man? I wonder how he got into that mode. Man, I keep coughing. Yeah, no, that is him. So once you see him doing what he's doing, he even has the same hair pattern, etc., on top of his head. I think it shows that he definitely was an agitator, not somebody that was on the fringes, taking videos, etc. He was there to create problems. Yeah, they won't play it because they'll say it's irrelevant. But good job out there to the news movement. You can go look at them on Twitter out there. All right. So here is the probable cause, though. And you guys remember Bragg? This case I'm interested in because I think this guy is going to end up being way worse than we previously thought, or at least, what the news is saying. I thought he was going to be way worse on here. That's why I'm following it. But this is that Joseph Bragg. You remember a few days ago where he abducted a girl. She was missing. Her name's already out there. Nelson's her last name. She, she was supposed to got off the bus, and then she goes over, started walking to her home, and then she turned around, etc. Came back, and then this guy planned this whole thing elaborately, picked her up, etc., etc. Let me see. Let me just get one article. Yeah, so she's 7 years old. And the original, story was that the Sherburne County Sheriff's Office is searching for a missing 7-year-old girl. She was last seen getting off a school bus at 13th Street West in Zimmerman, Minnesota. Public safety alert said she entered a black sedan at 3:30 p.m. That wasn't accurate, that part. There was a black sedan driving around. Hey, Lulu, yeah, we know it's about our rights. I think the rights of our citizens are to be able to feel safe and remove illegal aliens that have committed crimes. And, you know what the argument I hate the most? The one on Fox News today. What's her name? Jessica Tarloff. She goes, do you know the crime rate on illegal aliens is less than Americans? And we're supposed to go, wow, that is awesome. The truth is that every single crime committed by an illegal alien that shouldn't be here is a crime that would never have happened. You get it? So that's one that wouldn't have happened at all because they shouldn't be here. That's the point of it. Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, are you guys interested in this? I'm going to go and read this. So it says, charge kidnapping to facilitate felony flight. Minnesota Statute 609. Charges description on or about January 21st, 2026. In the county of Sherburne, Minnesota, Joseph Andrew Bragg did confine or remove from one place to another a person under the age of 16 without the consent of the person's parents, to wit, victim A, to facilitate the commission of the felony of criminal sexual conduct in the first degree. And then it was also criminal sexual conduct, first degree, right there. Hey, thanks so much, Cheryl Bullock. Okay, so here's the probable cause. It's similar. It seems like we have some of the stuff just a little bit more detail. On or about January 21st, 2026, at approximately 6:31 p.m., officers from the Sherburne County Sheriff's Office were dispatched to a residence in the city of Zimmerman, Sherburne County, State, Minnesota, upon a report of a missing juvenile female under the age of 10 years old. Victim A, that's what they'll be referred to. Victim A, let's see, then it says, herein fully identified on the reports, information provided by family members was that Victim A had gone to school that day and was usually dropped off by the bus at 3:40 p.m., but had not returned home. Mother of the Victim A, mother herein learned that the only two people who also have custody of Victim A's father and her grandmother, also did not have Victim A. So that means she was not with either of the other two people that have custodial rights. No one else had permission to have Victim A. Officers spoke with neighbors who reported that their child confirmed Victim A had been dropped off by the bus. Officers were provided camera footage from a neighbor which depicted Victim A walking towards her residence at 3:53, then turning around and walking back towards her bus stop out of view. No vehicles or other persons were visible in the footage. A canvass of the neighborhood was conducted by officers and Victim A was not located. Mother informed law enforcement that she had an unusual online interaction in December involving an individual with a Facebook profile username of Joseph Bragg. The mother stated that that individual added her on Facebook in early December. She initially added him back as she thought she recognized him as a relative of an associate of hers. Mother determined, after communication with this individual, that they did not know each other, and the individual stated he had just seen her profile and, wanted to communicate with her. The individual asked the mother questions about herself, including whether she had children. The individual indicated he wanted children of his own, was not discouraged to learn a woman already had children. I'm not sure what that matters, and indicated a desire to engage in activities with children. I mean, he's like, hey, yeah, I love kids. I want kids of my own. Hey, man, I really like to hang out with kids. I mean, Jesus, this is crazy. The individual explained he works in child care and asked if mother knew anyone in the Zimmerman-Princeton area looking for services. Mother reported she ultimately blocked the individual. So after a while, she ended up blocking him on Facebook. I think it might be interesting now. Remember those? Let's go look at these again. Was it these? Okay, that was the car that wasn't anything. Let's see. So maybe, I don't know if, let's see, is this it? I saw the post. I think, I don't know, let me keep going through these. Because that was the original one. Alright, so I think the ones that I'm talking about are in a folder on here. So let me go back a little bit. View. Yeah, right. These ones. See, look how crazy this stuff is, you guys. It says right, hello, I saw your post looking for childcare. If a male is something, this is what he wrote to somebody. And I don't know if this is to, well, it does say, that's the last name. Okay, so I think it was, I don't know who this message was to, but it says, hello, this is Bragg talking. Hello, I saw your post looking for childcare. If a male is something you're comfortable with, I have tons and tons of experience, 10 plus years, including some with Wayzata School District. Getting kids out and about, exploring the world is one of my favorite things. Frequent flyer at the Minnesota Zoo, parks, playgrounds, etc. Oh, I bet you spent a lot of time there. But being inside is also great. Let's see, that's him. And it says, pretty sure, then this lady says, pretty sure he messaged me about a year ago, either from this group or another, and I was trying to learn, because he was in a group of parents probably, and he was trying to learn more info because I got such weird vibes because he had his previous family message me, and when I hadn't responded to him, the other family was blowing up my phone. I thought it was so weird. And then here's the mess. Look at this. I would like to recommend an amazing. So this is him, obviously. He's typing this in because he says exactly the same thing, but he's pretending to be somebody recommending him. I would like to recommend an amazing child care provider. It's a male child care provider with years and years, at least 10 years of great experience. That's exactly what he typed in directly to somebody. He loves to take the kids out to like the Minnesota Zoo. He said the same thing in the other message. I mean, that's the crazy part. Like if you take that one and then you go to this one. Look. Hello, I saw your post looking for child care. If a male is something you're comfortable with, I have tons and tons of experience, 10 years plus, including some with Wayzata School District. Getting kids out and about, exploring the world is one of my favorite things. Frequent flyers at the Minnesota Zoo, parks, playgrounds. And then right over here, yeah, at least 10 years of great experience. This guy, it's the same person. This is not a different person typing this in. He loves to take the kids out to like the Minnesota Zoo or pools, etc. Super cheap. He just does it for the fun. We are moving, so unfortunately don't need him anymore. He's been caring for my girls their whole lives. He's become their uncle and is welcome to visit them and take them whenever he wants. We have never had the slightest issue, and I highly recommend my kids absolutely love him. Highly recommend my girls jump up and down with excitement when he pulls in. He's seriously the best of the best. I mean, that is so overkill. Yeah, he absolutely wrote that. No doubt about it at all. Yeah, so down here it says, mother informed law enforcement that she had an unusual online interaction in December. So let's read this part again now that we've read that. In December, involving an individual with a Facebook profile username of Joseph Bragg. The mother stated that that individual added her on Facebook in early December. She initially added him back as she thought she recognized him as a relative of an associate. The mother determined, after communication with the individual, that they did not know each other, and the individual stated he had just seen her profile and wanted to communicate with her. The individual asked the mother questions about herself, including whether she had children. The individual indicated he wanted children of his own, was not discouraged to learn a woman already had children, and indicated a desire to engage in activities with children. The individual explained he works in child care and asked if the mother knew anyone in the Zimmerman-Princeton area looking for services. The mother reported she ultimately blocked the individual. I wonder what it was. So they have this whole communication string. He was trying to groom her. That's what he was trying to do right there. He was trying to groom the mother. Let's see. Both of the victim A's parents told law enforcement they are not otherwise familiar with Joseph Bragg. So they don't know him other than that communication with the mother. Additional investigation identified Joseph Bragg as Joseph Andrew Bragg, date of birth 3/29/97, defendant herein. The defendant was developed as a suspect in victim A's disappearance. Through investigation and use of technology, law enforcement believed the defendant had access to a rental vehicle, a white 2025 Dodge Ram, bearing Tennessee license plate number BSB 3715. Law enforcement requested exigent location data of the defendant's cell phone, which produced updates of the location of the defendant's cell device. The location information indicated the defendant was traveling south and moving towards Iowa. Yeah, so the Dodge Ram. The law enforcement requested exigent location data of the defendant's cell phone. So he, for some reason, he had his cell phone on this whole time. He probably just didn't think they'd be able to figure out who he was. But hey, guys, if you're out there, if you guys could please help support the channel, that's what keeps us moving along here. We need get some channel memberships tonight. Currently, we are at 1/10 of a nightly goal, so if you have the ability to, that would be fantastic. Let's see, where are we at here? Let's see, let me just read that part again. Through investigation and use of technology, law enforcement believed the defendant had access to a rental vehicle, a white 2025 Dodge Ram, bearing Tennessee license plate number BSB 3715. Law enforcement requested exigent location data of the defendant's cell phone, which produced updates of the location of the defendant's cell device. Location information indicated that the defendant was traveling south and moving towards Iowa. Law enforcement agencies were provided the defendant's information, victim A's information, and possible suspect vehicle information. One agency notified of this information was the Albert Lea Police Department. The city of Albert Lea is located approximately 138 miles south of the city of Zimmerman and approximately 12 miles away from the Iowa border. So that case, let me see. I think I got it right up here. There it is. Yeah, so it was way down in this area. Well, no, not way down, farther than that. Clear down here. This is where Albert Lea is. So he had driven all the way down to this town from up here. So last seen up there, and he drove all the way down, probably 169 there, and then drove all the way down, probably got to 94, and then clear down to, oh, no, it's way down here, sorry. Albert Lea, so it looks like Highway 35 maybe, or who knows, maybe it took 13 down there. Law enforcement agencies were provided the defendant's information, victim A's info, and we're going to be getting to the missing Daniel Davis here in a few minutes. I'm just going through these at the beginning of the show. Law enforcement agencies were provided the defendant's information, victim A's information, and possible suspect vehicle information. One agency notified of this information was the Albert Lea Police Department. The city of Albert Lea is located approximately 138 miles south of the city of Zimmerman and approximately 12 miles away from the Iowa border. Once information was shared with law enforcement agencies in the area where the defendant was believed to be located, an Amber Alert was issued. At approximately 12:34 a.m. on January 22, 2026, a sergeant with the Albert Lea Police Department responded to the area of the trails Travel Center and Love's Truck Stop in Albert Lee, Freedom County. Let's see. Approximately 12:34 a.m. on January 22nd. So that's like the next day, man. That's crazy. But we're really early in the morning. So it's 6 hours after the incident was reported to police. Sergeant with the Albert Lee Police Department responded to the area of the Trails Travel Center and truck stop in Albert Lee. Let's see if that shows up in there. Trails Travel Center. Yeah, so it's way over here. So that's where he was staying. I don't know if he was staying there, but that's... Let's see, Trails Travel Center. Okay, the sergeant observed a white pickup truck at a pump station matching the description of the suspect vehicle. Hey, thanks, Timothy Cecil. Your 3070, this wave will have an impact, but I'll remain positive. Okay, so Timothy Cecil's trying to go for a wave from other people watching the show. The sergeant observed a white pickup truck at a pump station matching the description of the suspect vehicle, following the vehicle as it turned onto County Road 46. So where's that? Is that this? County Road 46. Where the hell would that be? So if you're right there, is that... No, there, that's 46 right there. Does it continue? So, I mean, maybe... No, this is probably 46. Okay, so he turns on the 46. Observed a white pickup truck pump station, then it said, following the vehicle, it turns onto County Road 46. The sergeant confirmed the vehicle bore the license plate number of the suspect vehicle. He observed the vehicle's rear passenger taillight was not illuminating. The sergeant activated his emergency lights and conducted a stop of the vehicle. So I would imagine what he's saying then is like he was turning left right here, and then this Braggs was going to get back and leave. So I would think that what we're looking at here is it was something like this, and then he was going to go out. That's what I think. Hey, thanks, Mush LH. The heck? Come on. There. So then he conducted a stop. And that says the driver of the vehicle was identified by Minnesota driver's license as the defendant. The defendant stated the vehicle was a rental and he was on his way out of state. Law enforcement observed the interior of the vehicle, and it was packed full of items, making it difficult to view the passenger or back seat. After further observation, an officer was able to observe a juvenile female in the back seat of the vehicle with blonde hair, consistent with the description of victim A. The defendant was asked if anyone else was in the vehicle, and the defendant stated Nova. So I guess he named her Nova or something. The juvenile female was removed and confirmed to be victim A. A suitcase, which seemed empty based on its weight, was located near or on top of victim A, and she had been seated in a child booster seat. The defendant was placed under arrest. So, wow, he put her in a child seat. This is where people in Minnesota would go, oh, you know, he put him in a child seat. He's okay. Well, this is Minnesota. So who knows what's going to happen to this guy. Seems like he fits right in. The defendant declined to provide a statement to law enforcement. Additional investigation revealed the defendant having used a lift. So when he originally abducted her, listen to this, he used a lift service while with victim A to take them from a residence in the Hummel Corcoran area to a hotel in the city of Plymouth, Hennigan County. So he must have already had his rental truck there or somewhere around in the area. I think what he did was so what he probably did was just have the Lyft driver pick the girl up. He's already in it. And then he has the Lyft driver drop them off where his truck is somewhere. And then he got in his truck and then he drove away. The Lyft driver reported driving a male and a young female to the Ramada Inn. Okay, that's right. So he probably had his truck there. He got a lift from Ramada Inn to the place where the girl gets off the bus, had her get on the bus with him. You know, it's interesting that the girl was walking home and then turned around, because what that means is that it's almost as if they had communication beforehand, and I'm wondering just how that all took place. I would really love to see that. That's not in here. That's the information that parents need to know about. So it said, so additional investigation revealed the defendant having used a Lyft service while with victim A to take them from a residence in Hummel Corcoran area to a hotel in the city of Plymouth. Let's see if I've got that one already. Plymouth, Minnesota. That's way up here. It's not far from the original abduction. So that's up in that area. But yeah. So do I have this one? Yeah, Ramada Inn. So I've already got that. So this is where he took her in his truck. So the Lyft driver, though. So what are they saying about the Lyft driver? Did he take him there? Hummel area to a hotel in the city of Plymouth. Wow. So how did he get his truck there then? How did he get his truck to... Well, again, he must have been picked up by Lyft in Hennepin County at the Ramada Inn, then driven back up to pick her up, and then back by a different... Well, the Lyft driver would know because he's been in the car the whole time. So I'm just trying to work through how that would work. So this very same Lyft driver would know that he picked him up at the Ramada Inn and then brought him back to the Ramada Inn, right? Because he's in the car when they pick up. You know what he probably did? I bet you he took a Lyft to the area where this girl was, got out, and then ordered another Lyft, got into that Lyft car, and then picked up the girl, and then went to Ramada Inn, because it would be way too suspicious for a Lyft driver to pick him up at the Ramada Inn, go somewhere, pick up a girl, and then bring him back to the Ramada Inn. Don't you agree? The Lyft driver reported driving a male and a young female to the Ramada Inn. Hotel staff confirmed the defendant stayed in a room at the hotel. The room was reserved for the time period between December 27th and January 21st. What? You're going to rent it that long? Hotel surveillance footage shows the defendant entering the hotel alone but carrying a large red suitcase, probably the same one that was covering her, that appeared to be difficult for him to handle. So he literally put her in the suitcase. How did he keep her from... He must have checked in, then he went back outside, and there's surveillance in a hallway that kind of picks him up. Not at the counter, because, I mean, man, if that bag had moved at all or she'd made any kind of sound, the jig was up. So he had to have figured out how to do that, right? I mean, carrying a large red suitcase that appeared to be difficult for him to handle. After approximately 30 minutes, the defendant is seen leaving the hotel once again with the suitcase. So for some reason, you know, I almost think that he was delivering, going to be, I don't know what he was, it's really difficult to explain, because why did he rent the hotel from, reserve the room from December 27th all the way to January 21st? That's like a month. So is he trafficking as well? I mean, why was he driving her south? Was she going to survive this trip? I mean, this is crazy stuff. Anyways, after approximately 30 minutes, the defendant is seen leaving the hotel once again with the suitcase. The search warrant was executed for the hotel room, and law enforcement located a number of items, including unused diapers. Which is weird because she's 7. Law enforcement also located a vehicle associated with the defendant at a residence in Hamel. A resident at that location, so somebody living there, reported the defendant requested permission to store his vehicle there as he would be traveling out of state. So Bragg's normal vehicle, and I have an address for Bragg, and it's really close to, this is Hamel, it's like right in this area right here. And he had an address there, so I'm just wondering. Yeah, so this is Hamel, and then Bragg had an address right there. But they said he didn't live there, but maybe he used to live there and a roommate lives there, or a friend, you know, so he left his personal vehicle there. Law enforcement also located a vehicle associated with the defendant at a residence in Hamel. A resident at that location reported the defendant requested permission to store his vehicle there as he would be traveling out of state. Location data also confirmed the rental vehicle being used by the defendant was located in the area of victim A's residence on January 21st, 2025. In the approximate time victim A, so let me read that again. So location data also confirmed the rental vehicle being used by the defendant was located in the area of victim A's residence on January 21st. In the approximate time victim A, so they, you know, rental cars have GPS on them. So they know it was right in that area. Except, why would he need the rental car there if he's got a lift vehicle driving? I don't get that part. Victim A would have gotten off the bus. The vehicle was also located in the same area at the same approximate time the previous day. Maybe when, I don't know. So he's driving in the rental car. She gets off the bus, walks towards her house, and then maybe he drove over on another street where there's a lift car. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on with that. Why would you have your rental car there if you ordered a lift? Because the lift driver said up here, using a lift service while with victim A. Additional investigation revealed the defendant having used a lift service while with victim A to take them from a residence in Hamel. Oh, I see. So he actually... I get it now. Oh, yeah. Wow. Now it all makes sense. The white vehicle in Hamel... You know how he left his vehicle with his friend at his friend's house? That was him leaving it there, and that's where he got picked up by the lift. All right, now I got to put this in here. So lift dropped him off here. Dropped him off here. No, picked him up here. Lift picked him up here. And so then it was like she was abducted in the rental car, or the rental car that he dropped off at the friend's house. I think. Okay, now it's kind of confusing. No, his vehicle. Let's go through this one more time. It might be his vehicle. Let me see. Additional investigation revealed the defendant having used a lift service vehicle with victim A to take them from a residence. So that's the place where he would have gone. You remember how he got permission from the friend to leave the car there? That's this incident right here. Take them from a resident to Hamel Corcoran area to a hotel. So, no, that was right the way I had it the next time. I know I'm confusing, but I got to get this right. All right, so I got to go back down. The Lyft driver doesn't... Lyft picked him up here. Right, that's right. So then you got to think like, okay, so how did he get there? Was that with the rental car? So it says law enforcement also located a vehicle associated with the defendant at a residence in Hamel. A resident at that location reported the defendant requested permission to store his vehicle there as he would be traveling out of state. Okay, so when the Lyft driver picked him up at that house, this girl must have been with him at the time. Hey, thanks, Paul Marino. Hey, appreciate it. Thank you. I know, I already said that, Jen. Yeah, I already said that. Yeah, I even wrote it in my notes up here. Did you see that? Ah, Jesus. Yeah. What is that? 10... Oh, yeah. Oh, man. That's crazy. I'm doing my taxes for next year. And I have to send them over. I had to get I'm using the same... You guys ever use TurboTax? I'm using the same person. I wanted to use the same person, so I had to get her name. Yeah, so anyways, right here... Oh, I just lost the form that I had. Hold on. Got to open it up again. Yeah, TurboTax, I like it because I have to use the one where there's a person. But hey, this year, check it out, man. If you get, I think, if you work overtime and stuff like that, it's already kicking in that stuff. And they also changed it where there was a deduction for state where you could only get up to $10,000, and now it's 40. Like if you happen to, whatever your combined income is, if you pay more than 10,000, like for state income tax, you can, all of that counts up to 40 now, not 10. So that really probably helps out a lot on the federal part, because Oregon has state tax, state and federal tax, no sales tax currently. Yeah, I think TurboTax is pretty good. But I had to get the lady's name off that tax form. Because I went over there and they assigned me to a random person, but I thought I liked the lady last year. She was really cool. Anyways. All right, you guys. Any chance you guys could help support the channel tonight? As you can see, you're probably been in here watching. It's hasn't been a humdinger. I can tell you that. Yeah, I like TurboTax a lot. I've done it myself, but starts getting kind of complicated. And they know more about how to help, something like that. All right. So we were right here. I just want to get this figured out again. So sorry, I have to go up here again. At approximately 12:34 a.m. on January 22nd, 2026, Sergeant Department responded to the area. So this is where he said he had a rental car. And then what was the part up here? To a rental vehicle, a white 2025 Dodge Ram. Law enforcement requested exigent location data, and they located it way down in that. Law enforcement agencies were provided the defendant information. Down in Albert Lee, they find this rental car. And then down here it says, additional investigation revealed that a defendant having used a Lyft service while with victim A to take them from a resident in Hamel. So that's where his vehicle, I think his personal vehicle was there. Let's see, how would that work? The defendant had access to a rental vehicle. Right, but what vehicle did he use to pick her up is what I'm trying to figure out. Does anybody, from what we've read, what vehicle did she use to pick her up? Law enforcement agencies were provided the defendant information, victim A's information, and possible suspect vehicle information. One agency notified of this information was the Albert Lee. I think he picked her up in his own, actually. And then he drove back to that house in Hamel, dropped the car off, and then had Lyft pick him up from that house with the girl. Shit, man. This is so weird. I know. That's what I thought it said rental too, but it doesn't. Seems to kind of not make sense. Did he just store his car at the same house that the Lyft car picked him up at? Let me try this again. Hope you guys don't mind. I got to get this figured out. At approximately 12:34 a.m. on January 22nd, a sergeant with the Albert Lee, I think it's up higher, law enforcement agencies were provided the defendant's information, victim A's information, and possible suspect vehicle information. One agency notified of this information was the Albert Lee Police Department. So I guess we got to go up here. Through investigation and use of technology, law enforcement believed the defendant had access to a rental vehicle, a white 2025 Dodge Ram bearing Tennessee license plate number. Law enforcement requested exigent location data of the defendant's cell phone, which produced updates of the location of the defendant's cell device. Location information indicated the defendant was traveling south and moving forward. So that doesn't say that that's what he was using. It just means he had access to one. Where are you getting that information, Jen? Where does it say that? When you say they saw a black car driving around. Law enforcement agencies were provided the defendant's information, victim A's information, and possible suspect vehicle information. One agency notified of this information was the Albert Lee Police Department. The city of Albert Lee is located approximately 138 miles south of the city of Zimmerman. At approximately 12:34 a.m. on January 22nd, a sergeant with the Albert Lea Police Department responded to the area of the Trails Travel Center and Love's Truck Stop in Albert Lea, Freedom County. The sergeant observed a white pickup truck at a pump station matching the description of the suspect vehicle, which would be the rental. Following the vehicle as it turned onto County Road 46, the sergeant confirmed the vehicle bore the license plate number of the suspect vehicle. He observed the vehicle rear passenger tail light was not illuminating. The sergeant activated his emergency light and conducted a stop of the vehicle. The driver of the vehicle was identified by Minnesota driver's license as the defendant. The defendant stated the vehicle was a rental and was on his way out of state. Law enforcement observed interior of the vehicle was packed full of items, making it difficult. Rather than she's covered with the suitcase, etc. Now, I just read it up there. I don't see when people say anything about observed it driving around. I just went through the part where it starts talking about the vehicle. Yeah, there's a whole different case of Daniel Davis that we're going over. It's in the thumbnail of the video. Hopefully you didn't miss it. It's pretty clear. Okay, so let me just do this part again. So when he was pulled over, it was in the rental vehicle truck. Additional investigation revealed the defendant having used a Lyft service with victim A. See, and this is crazy, right? To take him, so victim A is with him, and he's being picked up in Hamel, where, okay, so let's, jeez, let's see. So let me just work through this, and I'll see where why it's kind of weird, right? So he's got the rental vehicle when he abducts her. Let's just say that that's how it went. This white truck. Then he drove. He must have had her with him, and then he drives down to the place in Hamel with the victim, in that car, and then a Lyft vehicle picks him up, and then takes him to the hotel where he has the rental again. How does that happen? See how that's kind of confusing? This is why I work through things, because things like that, when they don't make sense just simply like that, then it's a problem. All right? So I want to work through this and figure this out, okay? That doesn't make sense. So if you are to believe that he had his... But the person that lives at Hamel said he left his vehicle, a vehicle associated with the defendant. So how does that work out? Did he already have his vehicle at the hotel, and then he drove the rental car to the hotel, and then then put her in his own vehicle again? But he abducts her in the rental. The hotel already had his vehicle at it, his personal vehicle. Then he puts her in his own vehicle, drives to Hamel House, orders a Lyft driver who picks them both up again and takes them back to the hotel where his vehicle is. That's the only thing that makes sense. Hey, thank you, Chris O'Connell. Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you. How about that? Does that so where is why is his personal vehicle? Law enforcement also located a vehicle associated with the defendant. Now, what does that mean, associated with the defendant? At a residence in Hamel. In that same place, Hamel, Corcoran area. A resident at that location reported that the defendant requested permission to store his vehicle there. So that's his vehicle, right? Anyways, thanks so much, Carissa Cuddle. How's Graven doing? Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm trying to figure out right here. What do you mean by how's Graven doing? Just ask me how I'm doing. Don't ask other people how I'm doing. How's Graven doing? Hey everybody, how's Ashley been doing? Huh? Hey Jen, if you're still up there, do you see where the problem is? Right, that's what I was saying. That's what I was just saying, Jen. That's what I've been trying to work with, is that he must have had his own vehicle at the hotel, the Ramada Inn, and so he drove the victim to the Ramada Inn. Yeah, but wow, how come she was in a suitcase again? I mean, that's pretty complicated. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I see that you're agreeing. Isn't that weird, though? It's like, so let's just work it through like this. Okay, so you got a rental car, Dodge Ram, rental, white vehicle. He's already got his vehicle parked at the Ramada Inn. Then he drives the Ram to the hotel, puts the victim in the vehicle, his own vehicle, and then he drives, both of them drive over to the house in Hamel. And then he calls a Lyft driver who then picks them up again. I wonder, it'd be interesting to see if they had any luggage with them at all, because you would think it would still be in the Dodge Ram. So then the Uber driver or the Lyft driver drives them back to the hotel. So he had to bring her with him because he didn't want her to start yelling or do something like that. So then the Lyft driver goes back to the Ramada Inn, and then he's dropped off there. Then he had it parked in a certain way where then he puts her inside the suitcase or something, pays whatever. He already had it paid for, so he didn't have to do that. He could just go into the room, right? Maybe get the key and just go into the room. And so he had her in a suitcase, brought her into the room. Now it makes sense because he can, late at the morning, I think it was 12:30 in the morning, 6 hours later or 5 hours later, he then drives her, puts her in the car, and he takes off, but then he's pulled over. No, but just, that's that simple. I think that's the only way this makes sense, is if his car was already parked at the Ramada Inn. Do you get what I'm saying? That's the only thing that makes sense. Now, it could be that there's two places in Hamel that are different places. You know, maybe one was the friend's house because the other one said Hamel Corcoran area. The other one said his friend's house in Hamel. Why wouldn't they say the same location for both of them? I mean, it sounds like it's still, he got picked up at a residence. You'd think they would have said the same residence or something. Anyways, I think that's about as good as I can try to explain it. Hey, thank you, Whaley Awesome. All right, so law enforcement also located a vehicle associated with the defendant at a residence in Hamel. Now, you'd think they would have said the same residence in Hamel, but they didn't. A person at that location reported... Oh, I see. The driver might not have had the specific information, although you'd think he would, of the Lyft. So they're just saying a residence in Hamel, Corcoran. And then down here, they went to a specific residence. A residence at that location reported the defendant requested permission to store his vehicle there. Right. And that's right. He asked if he could store it there. And then maybe the person was at work or something. And, he didn't say, here's the thing. It's like, how did he hide the girl from the residence, too? So did he just ask permission and the guy wasn't there? And so the Lyft driver It looks like a normal, he's picking up a guy and a little girl. But the residents must not have known that. Location data also confirmed the rental vehicle being used by the defendant was located in the area of the victim A's residence. So that's the part that kind of says that it was in the residence. That's what we were reading. That's why I needed to go back. On January 21st, 2025, in the approximate time victim A would have gotten off the bus. The vehicle was also located in the same area at the same approximate time the previous day. So did he try to do the same thing the day before? So I guess that right there proves that it was the rental car his rental car was in that area. So he must have used the rental car to pick her up, drive her to the Ramada Inn. They both got out, got into his own vehicle. Then they drove that vehicle to his friend's house, associate's house, whatever you want to call him. Then he got out of that vehicle with the victim, and they both got into a lift that took him back to the hotel where his rental car truck was, that he would then use later. Yeah, I think Jen had it right there. Good job, Jen. I just read up there where she said something similar. But hey guys, if you're out there, like I always say, if you have the ability to help support the channel, that would be great. We're currently only at about 30% of a nightly goal. And I think this is interesting stuff, man. This is right up my alley. We put the pieces of the puzzle together. So right over here it says, Victim A was forensically interviewed and examined concerning the events of January 21st, 2026. This part is kind of disturbing. She reported being in a room with the defendant with her clothes off. She was laying on the bed and the defendant was behind her. Victim A stated the defendant put his private part on her, her private part. She identified her, and that was her, her bottom as her buttocks, and described her part where the defendant touched was that was her, I mean, she literally described it how a kid would do it. He touched her in the area where, she'd go number 2. She said it differently, I just don't want to read it. When shown the diagram of the nude adult male, the victim A stated that was the defendant looked like. She identified his personal spot as his, the man's private part. She stated she felt disgusting. I mean, what a absolute sick monster. Hey, thanks, Jen. And also Chris O'Connell again. Thank you. Yeah, so this is like Stephen Stearns here, but it's almost I'm not really sure how you explain it, but this is a predator who literally, through communication, it's a little bit like the stalkers that I have out there. They get a little piece of information and they try to, do really shitty things. I think yesterday during my show, you know how I give out notebooks? I accidentally had the names up on the screen for about 2 seconds. And that's what these people do. They quickly grab it and they go, boom, and they contact people. They literally contact people that I gave notebooks out to. Can you believe that? So I don't know what the hell they were doing. That's why I removed yesterday's video, is because it was in there. For like 2 seconds, it popped up. I mean, they're just the most disgusting people. They're very similar to predators like this. Try to get a little information and go out and try to screw people over. It's crazy. I can tell you this. Over the years, I've had a lot of people that have generously supported my channel, and not one of them wasn't attempted to be contacted by the troll community. And, they've had an impact. That's why we struggle. It's so difficult in here on certain nights, is because a lot of those people have to deal with the trolls, and it just is what it is. I don't know what else to tell you guys, but that's the kind of stuff I have to deal with every single day. And so, if any of you hear from them, can you make sure to get as much information and detail from them as you can, and make sure to send it to me. I've got a whole folder filled up with it for the eventual future. Okay? Because these people are abominations. All right. Anyways. So that being said, if you guys could help support the channel, that would be great. Maybe help offset some of that. We are currently about 40% currently of just a minimum nightly goal. Yeah, this guy here is, he reminds me of the guy in the Delphi case, that other guy, what the hell was his name? He was arrested. He got that 8-year-old girl into his house when she was, I think he's absolutely identical to that. In this case, I don't know what the hell was going to happen. This is really creepy to me, is what was he doing? Where was he going with her at that point? Was he going to kill her somewhere, or was he going to give her to somebody who was maybe paying? To me, it's this one is one of the ones. This should be Chadwell. That's exactly the one. This case right here should be a case that is way bigger, and people should be talking about it, because this is exactly the thing that is absolutely creepy with the predators. All right, so anyways, that's it. That's it for... I wish it had a little bit more, describing more of the movement stuff. That would have been pretty cool. Hey, I got a coffee from Lisa Valenzuela. Yeah, so I'm going to keep, whenever there's updates on this sucker, I'm going to do it. I think this one is absolutely crazy. I'd love to know if the residents that the lift vehicle picked up Bragg and the victim was the same place that he left his vehicle. Because then that would really, I think that would absolutely mean that his personal vehicle would have to be at the hotel, and he must have taken a Lyft driver. Like how did his car get at the hotel? As he put the hotel, there must be another Lyft or something where he would have had to get a ride to get the rental car, right? Seems like it anyways. No, that's horrible, Amigalia. That's because your name isn't really, you can't really find it. It's just, it's really rough, It's like, it doesn't matter. Finally, I get people, that had come in and started supporting my channel. I mean, you can see how difficult it is on a nightly basis now. And there's a few people, 3, 4, 5 people that have been helping out more than everybody else. And, but those are the targets that they always go out and they try to get their names and they look them up and they send them. You know what? They've actually called the charities that we've donated to. And the charities love us. They're like, oh my God, you guys. And so they always send me the emails that they got. So I haven't seen any of those recently, but they send them over. Because, I mean, these people are just disgusting, sick people. Now, what they always they do is they, like on certain nights I'm frustrated, whatever, and they always cut out those parts and go, ooh, look at that, look at, ooh. None of the good stuff that we do is ever shared. It's just, it is what it is. But yeah, you guys, let's see if we can get a challenge going in here tonight or something. Got to see if we can try to reach a goal. We haven't reached the goal in 3 days straight. So it'd be nice to reach the goal one day going into the end of the month, which is coming up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you think so? All right, so let's do the missing Dan Davis. Yeah, let's see if we can do like a challenge of some sort. That'd be great. Somebody. Where is the... This is in Chicago. It's pretty weird. It's kind of a weird story. Because right when you think, oh, okay, he must have done this, it's not really what it is. Why should you switch names? Change your name to what? Yeah. All right. This is from November 26th, right here. I actually remember seeing some surveillance from this a month ago or something. Blue Island, Illinois. 1 month after 59-year-old Daniel Davis disappeared, his family says they're still searching for answers and living with painful uncertainty. What we know. Police say Davis was last seen November 26th. Since then, several sightings have been reported, including security camera footage. Oh, this is December 26th, this one. Oops, let's go to this next. I was wondering, man, how'd they get the article out on the same day? All right, here we go. We'll go with Namus first here. And John Lorden covered this too. It was cool. I randomly came across him again. I was like, oh, man. Yeah, it looks like his YouTube videos, it's just sort of similar. He gets like 2,000 views. It's just ridiculous for somebody that did that great a job all those years. And YouTube just doesn't reward. It's nuts. Anyways, this guy's 59 years old. And it says Daniel Davis was seen on November 25th at 1:15 a.m. leaving 115 Bourbon Street in the 3300 block of West 115th Street in Marionette Park, Illinois. And that's right here at this bar. Right here. Let's see if I think I can go down to Street View there. He was right at this place. He worked there at 115 Bourbon Street. He worked in this area. See. Daniel Davis, it was last seen where I just said, and then he was wearing a red sweatshirt, black jeans when he left 115 Bourbon Street. Daniel was viewed on camera on November 26, 2025 at approximately 3 p.m. So literally, I mean, let's see. So they're saying the 25th at 1:15 a.m. And then he's seen on the 26th. I mean, that's many hours later. That's not even That's way over 24 hours later. He's seen at 3 p.m. outside the area of the 13300 Old Western Avenue in Blue Island, Illinois. He was then observed on camera at approximately 6:30 p.m. at St. Donatus Church in the 1900 block. So I actually have that mapped out, but there's much more. The sister, or the daughter of this guy, he actually, she emailed, I messaged her on Facebook, and she sent me back some links to maps and different things. So this is where he was last spotted. And then he's down here, and then you think, man, that's pretty ominous, right? I mean, what's your first thought when you see he's right there? You go, oh, shit. He probably went in the water. But then he's spotted way over here, like 3 hours later at this church, walking over there. So it's not near the water at that point. It's quite a ways away, blocks and blocks. But the first thing you think of, that's kind of cool looking, is when you see that he went into the water. And here he is. The above missing person was last seen November 25th, 2025 at 1:15 a.m. leaving 115 Bourbon Street at 3359. So that address is it's at that same place, but a little offset slightly. Like that first address they gave was right there, but then the address we just said is right here, this place. So I don't know if it means he came out the door there or what that means really, but he was last seen wearing a black baseball hat, black Harley Davidson jacket. He's got all this on right now, and a red sweatshirt. I mean, so this picture here is exactly what he looked like. The missing was viewed on camera on November 26, 2026 at approximately 3 p.m. outside the area of 13200 and 13300 Old Western. So it basically says the same thing that we just read. Now let me read the phone number. But if you do have any information, please contact the Area 2 SVU at 312-747-8274 or just call 911 if you're in that area. This is in Chicago. All right, go to the next one. All right, so this one's got a lot of information in it.
On multiple.
Yeah, so again, there's that bar. Let's just go down here. Daniel Davis was involved in a crash and might be disoriented. So this guy was in a crash. A 59-year-old man is missing in south suburbs. Daniel Davis was involved in a crash and might be disoriented, according to his family, who told ABC7 they fear he may be hurt. Chicago police said he was last seen leaving 115 Bourbon Street at 3359 West 115th Street in Marionette Park Tuesday. His family said he was last seen around the Blue Island area at St. Donatus Church at about 6:30 p.m. Wednesday. He was also believed to have been seen on Wednesday on camera in the 13,300 block of Old Western Avenue in Blue Island. He was last seen wearing a black jacket, red shirt, and dark pants. The 59-year-old is described as being 5 foot 8 inches tall, weighing about 170 pounds. His family gathered to form a search party Friday at that same, 3359 West 105th Street in Marionette. The missing persons case is being handled by the Chicago Police Department. Anyone with information is urged to contact Chicago Police or call 911. Loved ones are hoping he's found safe soon. We are not paying attention to what day it is or the holidays or anything, his daughter Wendy Davis said. We've just been super focused and putting 100% of our energy into every possible lead we get. I know I'm reading you guys, but if you could find a way to help support the channel tonight, that would be fantastic. We're still only at 40% of the nightly goals, so I'm not really sure how to get there. It's been a struggle. The missing person case is being handled by the Chicago Police Department. Anyone with information is urged to contact Chicago Police. Loved ones are hoping he's found safe soon. We are not paying attention to what day or holiday or anything, his daughter Wendy Davis said. We've just been super focused and putting 100% of our energy into every possible lead we get. Hey, thanks, Chris O'Connell. Hey, I like the lemon face. I remember those. I was, who used to do those all the time? What was her name? That was like so many years ago. It's really disheartening. 115 Bourbon Street General Manager John Henke said he's been part of our family for 26 years. So he's worked at that bar, that Bourbon Street, where it says Bourbon Street or whatever. It's not a bar. It just feels like it's a bar. But maybe it is. I don't know. But he's worked at Bourbon Street in that place for 26 years. The family says they still have questions over the car crash that took place about 1 mile away, but they're focused right now on finding Davis. He was only here for a couple of hours on late Monday night, going into Tuesday morning. He was here between, I think, around 11:30 to 1 a.m., which that's not accurate. Going into Tuesday morning, Wendy Davis said, a couple of hours before he went missing. Let me read that again. He was here between, I think, around 11:30 to 1 a.m. going into Tuesday morning, Wendy Davis said, a couple hours before he went missing. He was involved in a car accident, and we believe that he might have gotten injured with a head injury. Based off of his movements and everything in all the videos, he seems a little disoriented. Officers from the Marionette Park Police Department provided family members with moral support. Yeah, the thing is the car accident was before he went to the bar. So it's not like he left the bar, had it, because he had some drinks, and then he goes out and he gets into a crash and wanders off. He'd already been hanging out with people for a while. All right, let's see. There's another one. Dozens of people showed up Friday morning to join the search party for Dan Davis III, a longtime employee of 115 Bourbon Street in Marionette Park. Hey, Chris O'Connell's going for a $1 holler, you guys. See if you can do it. We just need about 50 of you, and we could do it. My God. His daughter, Wendy Davis, told Patch that she learned her father was missing Tuesday night when she was contacted by a coworker. We're assembling a search party to see if we can find Dan's whereabouts, his daughter said. All his friends, coworkers, family, complete strangers are here. Davis was captured a handful of times on Ring and private security cameras in Blue Island throughout the day Tuesday near 13300 block of Old Western Avenue. He was wandering the streets, cutting through yards, looking confused and lost, Wendy said. His behavior is unlike him. The last camera sighting of Davis was around 6:30 p.m. Wednesday, leaving St. Donatus Church on Union Street in Blue Island. Hey, thanks. I'm a gal, yo. That's all, why is it saying that's your 20th super on a live stream? You've done way more than 20 over the years. Based on Davis' movements, Chief Matt Ramirez of the Marionette Park Police Department and his daughter think he may be heading southeast, possibly into Posen. Wendy's mother and Dan Davis, former wife, who was there to support her daughter, said they spent all of Thursday driving around Blue Island looking for Dan. I mean, now we're 2 months later. So it was a different Thanksgiving, she said, handing out stacks of flyers to volunteers. The search party, many of them Davis's Bourbon Street co-workers, was organizing a Google chat stream. The plan was to leave flyers at a business in location around Blue Island where Davis was last seen. It is believed that Davis may have been involved in a multi-vehicle accident sometime Monday near the Garden Homes Fire District near 119th Street in Avers. So I think I have that spot. So look at here's where the bar is, where he was at. And it's just right there, apparently. There's Avers, and then here is 119th. So that's kind of where the accident was. Apparently he lives just sort of right in this general area. Okay, but this is where the accident took place. And then it turns out that there is, I don't know if it's this video. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, look. So look at this crazy video. So this is at 12:31 after the accident. And the officer drops him right at the Bourbon Street curb there. Isn't that crazy? Here, look. And so you see that little yellow curb right there. That's exactly the same curb that we see when we go to, right here. So he was dropped off literally right in this spot. Right there. See that? So if you're looking at the video, there's the curb. There's a stop sign there. I'm sure that's going to be in there. There it is, stop sign. So that's where he was dropped off, right here. And so and if you look at it, it's 12:30, right? And he left at 1:15, so he was only there for 45 minutes. He wasn't there for 2 hours. Hey, thanks, Birdman. Bourbon Street is huge bar, music venue. Okay. Crash happened after he left work. No, it didn't. They actually... they changed that, Birdman. That isn't accurate. He got dropped off before he went in. Well, when you say left work, what do you mean? Yeah, because the thing is I know that's what people are being told that, but the truth is, he got in the accident, and then the police drove him here, and then at 1:15, he got here at 12:30, and then he left at 1:15. Yeah, it's all strange of him moving around, but the accident, and that's what his sister says, or not sister, that's what his daughter says too, is that the crash was before he got here. So you see him being dropped off here by police at 12:30 on the 25th, and then at 1:15, which is only 50 minutes later, or actually 45 minutes later, ish, he leaves. See what I'm saying? All right. And so it also makes sense. You see him being dropped off at 12:30, and we know that he leaves at 1:15. So this has to be being dropped off before, and he's being dropped off after the car accident. Now I don't know what he did with his vehicle. Like, he just left it on the side of the road, or he drove it home, and then, or he left it on the side of the road, and then the police said, "Hey, I'll give you a ride." Wow, geez, Chris O'Connell. Man, thank you. That's so kind of you. And thanks, Birdman. Yeah, and people are talking about how he seems to... Yeah, and then there's these other videos, right? Like these. So this is one of the ones I want to try to figure out. Maybe we can you know, get some of these. Let me just grab that one. We might be able to get some of these other ones because they're on video. But come on, print screen. What? Oh, do I have to open up? Oh, it is working. Oh man. Okay, there we go. Maybe that'll be something we try at the end. Yeah, try to find this precise spot. Might not be too hard. You never know. Yeah, that's his daughter. She actually reminds me of an actress. She's really got a lot of energy, really. I mean, she's exactly who you'd want as a daughter if you went missing, I can tell you that. She's unbelievable, like on all of her videos that she has out there. She sounds like me sometimes, too. It's like, listen, she goes, listen, you guys, when you show up and say, hey, I think I saw him at an intersection, and then you don't leave any specifics, that doesn't help at all. How many times do I say stuff like that? You guys go, Gray, I saw it in an article. And then I go, what article? Oh, I don't know. It's out there. Yeah, I know it's out there. It's that doesn't help, though. It's morning. He was here between, I think, yeah. All right, so I don't know if that was the article. I remember reading it. One of the articles actually explained that it was before. Blue Island, Illinois. 1 month after 59-year-old Daniel Davis disappeared, his family says they are still searching for answers and living with painful uncertainty. So now we're about a month later in this one. What we know, police say Davis was last seen November 26. Since then, several sightings have been reported, including security camera footage showing a man believed to be Davis walking through neighborhood yards and alleys near Union Road. Investigators say Davis appeared confused. Early in the evening, I mean, you might think that he maybe got hurt in his car accident. Early in the search, Davis, his family, feared he may have fallen into the Cal-Sag Channel. Yeah, that's what I would have thought, but then he shows up somewhere else. The Blue Island Fire Department searched the waterways using a boat and sonar equipment, but found no signs. Well, it is moving water, and remember, we did a case where in less than a week, a body went 80-something miles downstream. Now, especially this time of year when it's probably got some more liquid in it, rain, etc. Let's see. The biggest danger, his mental state with him being medically impaired, either a stroke or a fall or whatever is happening in his head, is the biggest danger. Now, I would think the cold weather, you know. In an effort to widen the search, Davis's daughter created a Find Dan Davis Facebook page. The family says the hardest part has been not knowing where Davis is on or what condition he may be in. They are asking anyone with information, surveillance video, or possible sightings to contact the police immediately. Police say the investigation remains active. All right, let's take a look at some of these flyers. So these are images of him just kind of moving around here. See that? And I do have these videos right here. So we might have to go back to some of these. That's the daughter right there. Yeah, right here. See, there he is moving. Here, maybe we should put him in... looks like I shut down Premiere again. Gonna have to open it up. Yeah, I could have delay concussion. Whatever the hell that is. All right. I think I've had 2 concussions in my life. Oh, that's the problem. Yeah, I remember when I was, well, 3 actually. And I think they were all pretty severe. Like when we lived in New Mexico, I was sitting on handlebars. This is when my whole family was still together with my biological father, who was an artist in Santa Fe. And I was riding on handlebars, and I flipped out off the end of it. My head hit the ground, a rock on the ground, and I didn't know where the hell I was at all. I remember just laying down. Then another time, when I probably about 7 years, or I don't know, 6 years after that, I think I was in first. Yeah, I must have been. No, it was 3rd grade, so it wouldn't have been that many years. But I was playing like hiding. There's like a undercovered area with these huge metal poles, and I was running, looking the wrong way, and my head just went bang right into one of those poles. I didn't know where the hell I was. And then in college, I was also riding a bike in the rain, and the front handlebars slipped on a manhole, and my face just went bam right into the asphalt. And I mean, immediately I didn't know where the hell I was, why I was even there. Somebody walked me all the way to a hospital, and I had no clue what was even happening. I think that was it. So I haven't had any concussions in 30 years, but maybe almost 35 probably. All right, there's that surveillance. All right, where are we at now? We're still about probably like 17 channel memberships short of reaching the goal. But hey, we're, better than last night. Let's see if we can make this look better. No, not that one. That's a little better. No. Yeah. Yeah, forget that. I'm just gonna. Jesus. Oh, man. You can forget getting your body deposit back. Yeah, forget it. Yeah, I'm screwed. That's a little bit better right there. See, I was kind of like, I wonder if this is at the church. Let me go look. That definitely could be at the church right there. That shot. Because it just, I don't know, it just feels like that might be what that is. Let's see. Nah. That's a main street, so that's not it. All right. Let me look at this one over here. This doesn't look right either. Nope. Yeah, what the hell is he doing? That's crazy. All right, so you got this one right here. And then here he is walking down the street. I'd love to have every bit of surveillance that they've got. Jeez, Paulette. Why don't you brighten up the room a little bit? My God. What a horrible story, that. Jesus. It's almost like it's been building up all these years. Yeah, of course he wandered off somewhere. Yeah. Great theory there, Timothy. Let's see. What's this one? Okay, we got that. Okay. So this one, I have a better version of that. Right here. So here's this map that they have out on one of their sites. And let's just put all of these in there. How about that? All right, so I'm just going to do it off, bring it into here and then just do it. So they have the first sighting was way up there at that bar. There's actually two sightings there, though, when he got dropped off, and then apparently when he left. And then the second one is at, let's see. This is on the 25th. Just Plains and Gregory. Ah, Jesus, man. Just have it. Is that it? All right, I'm just going to have to, like, look on the map. It's right down here. There's, okay, there it is. Displains has an E in it. They didn't put that in there. And Gregory, so right there. And this is number like 2 at 7:30 9:30 a.m. 11:25. So this is that same morning, but just later in it. So somehow he spotted right there. And then number 3, he spotted at... will it make any difference if I ask again, you guys? If you guys could help support the channel? I just want to try to reach the goal. We haven't reached the goal in 3 days straight. So we haven't reached it, and we are currently still needing about... let's see, probably like 15 channel memberships or something like that as a group. Can you guys do that for me? I'd appreciate it. $135th and Greenwood Avenue. Right there. So this one's the 3rd sighting right here. $135th. Okay, 3 at 8:40. So he's just kind of lingering around, not really moving quick. And on 11:25. Maybe a challenge would get us there. That's 3. Then 4, they don't really have... Well, no, they do have a name. So 4 is walking at 13-133-314 Rexford Street. Okay, that's Rexford. But they're saying, so it's right, they have it right off the bridge here. Right there. Well, this is Rexford, so that's got to be in Rexford, right? Oh, I had too many 3s. There you go, right there. So this is sighting number 4. No? Okay. I'll put 1 on that. Alright, so we got 4, and then 5 is Vermont Street. And Maple Avenue. Right there. That's the 5th sighting. And that's at 2 p.m. He's just kind of like wandering around. And did he eat anything, or? Hey. Okay, that's 5, and then 6 is... he was walking at 2, 6... Let me hit save. It's too much work. All right, there we go. Ah, no, that's not what I wanted. There. Ah. And 2629 Grove Street. So that was at 2 p.m. and then 4:20 is over here walking. Hey, thanks, Michelle H. All right. Yeah. So just a few minutes later, 2:23 p.m. And well, this is kind of weird because he's not like right next to the water or anything. And you'd think cameras would just keep picking him up all over the place. All right, then the next one, 7, is 13217 Old Western Avenue. So that's near the water. Okay, so that we can, that's the precise location. So we can move that here, and that's 3 p.m. And we'll put 7 on that. And it's actually 13217 Old Western Avenue. Alright, there we go. So that's the sighting at 3 was right there. And then we have 8. Then he goes like way over here. He's not there anymore. Wait, so 7. It was 11:20. It's also on the 25th. Yeah, we got 1 coffee from Lisa Valenzuela. Hopefully we could get some more support for the channel in here, you guys. We're just really treading water these days. I'm not sure what's happening, but if you guys like the channel and what we do here, I'm going to need people to be supporting the channel on a nightly basis. That's just kind of the only thing that makes it keep on trucking. So if you guys can do that, I would appreciate it. We're, as I mentioned 3 or 4 times already, we are currently we are 13 channel memberships short of just reaching that normal minimum goal that we used to always have. That's not even where I donate the 5 memberships, right? So just trying to get there. So if you guys can please help support the channel, I would appreciate it. So that was 7. Okay, then 8 is 127th and Greenwood. Is that right there? So yeah, way up here. Alright, there we go. So that was at 4:20. And then I think the church is the next one. Yeah, and so what's weird about the church sighting is it's the 9th sighting, but it's the way they have it. It's literally 26 hours later. I mean, that's crazy, right? So where was he for 26 hours? I mean, this is 9. That's it. I think he might be in a shed or something like that. Yeah, isn't that weird? So from here to there, it's 26 hours later. And somehow he wasn't spotted anywhere else in between that we know of yet. I mean, he should be on camera all over the place. Yeah, boy. Yeah, I mean, if he went, I just, the odds of him still being alive are pretty low. I mean, that's the reality of this. I'm just trying to figure out, like, he was here on the 26th, but there's no real, you can't figure out what direction he's heading because 26 hours from here to there, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, he could have been over here and then went to there and any chance we can get a Hail Mary challenge going? I'll tell you what, if somebody does a challenge 5 for 5, I'll also donate 5, and that'll at least get us right there. Of course, I'll be subsidizing my own goal. But that would be 15. So if somebody does a 5 for 5er, then I'll donate 5 myself and do the other 3 that for some reason we can't get. Any chance of that? All right, now I'm going to go look and see if I can find where some of these images are taken. I wish they would just release all the surveillance. There's no reason to just give out still frames. It just doesn't. I don't know. I'm just trying to reach goals. You don't have to do IOUs. That's, let's see. Oh, there you go. Look at that. So Chris O'Connell said she'll donate 5 channel memberships. Thank you, Chris O'Connell. If 5 random people donate 1. Okay? And that'll get us to 10, and then I'll donate the other 5, so it'll be on your end, the people who donate the 1, it's a 3 for 1 proposition. So you're helping donate another 10 memberships. So that's 1. Let's just go from beginning to the end on this. So we got them all mapped out now. Let me hit save. You don't have to do IOUs though. And if you want to, whenever you get hooked back up again, that'd be great. But all right, let's see. No? So there's 1 right there. And we've already seen that. Then 2 is right over here. Don't know where this is. Are you did your 5 before people did the 5. Now thank you. Or are you doing the 5 of your 5? Yeah, the people I don't know, man. It's just really hard. Thank you, Chris O'Connell. So we need the other 5 of that, you guys. And then I'll donate the 5. There's 1. I'm a Galio. We need 4 more. Oh, you did your own 5? Okay, well, you got 1. I'm a Galio helped out. I had to do my own challenge yesterday. Or at least I was the only one that made the challenge to get the support from somebody who wanted to do that. All right. Wow. Well, geez, thanks. I'm a Galio and Chris O'Connell. Okay, well, here we go. Let me do it. Hey, thanks, J Key. All right, there we go. Man, thank you guys. Very cool, very cool. All right. Yeah, it feels like I should be, have a parade sound going. You know? Like da 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 na 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 na. We made a goal. Sort of, you know. It was close, within 5. But thanks, Jay Keys, and I'm a Galio for jumping in there too. Very cool. So that's 2. And then the 3rd place, I mean, obviously the most important one is 9, right? I mean, 3. Here, let me get these in order. 7, 8, and then 9, and then 1. There we go. All right, so 3 is right there. I know I said that. J Key, or it's probably Jackie, is what it is, right? Is that right? Come on. It's like a short for saying Jackie. Probably not. All right, there's 3 and 4. Right there. I think that's probably going to be one of the surveillance shots. Let's see. Yeah. Or maybe this one. So 4 was what again? 13314. Rexford. So it's that house. So that must be what they're saying. I mean, how would they know that? That's not it. All right, so that's 4, or yeah, 4, and then 5, And thanks, Marty. You're always so generous, anyways. You don't have to do IOUs or anything. Yeah, yeah. If you feel like supporting the channel and think, he kind of got screwed over by YouTube. They did I've had it happen to me before too, where they have you verify this and verify that, and it's kind of a hassle. You got to take pictures, and it's just. All right, so here's spot number 5 that he was walking around at. Right over there. And by the way, I talked to Marty's Bar and Grill. He's cool in person too. It's actually cooler when I was talking to him that he is even on the show. What do you guys think of that? How crazy, huh? All right, this is another spot. Wait, that hill looks kind of familiar. Here, let me go look at that again. This one. Ah, there we go. I bet you he's just sort of in on a yard. Let's look for that yard with the brown fence and the rock. It's got to be right here. No, it's got it right next to a garage. I think it might be this next one. If there's a brown fence next. Yeah. Can I get a boom? There it is right there. So Dan is standing right next to these rocks. Look. See that? This is why you guys pay me the big bucks. All right, look at this shit right here. Watch. Right there is the rock that's right there. Here's the wall. Boom. There's the fence. He's holding on to it. And there you go. So I'm going to go ahead. What was the number on this one? This is number 6. There we go. That one we might have already seen. That's coming from a house too, so that would be one that there was an address given to, I would think. No red breast tonight. I only drink like once. I mean, sometimes it's like a month. But somebody sends me a bottle, I might have a drink one night, and then a few nights later have another one or something. I mean, I don't even think like, oh, I need to have a drink or something. Well, some nights after these shows, okay. Real cool cat. Okay. Yeah, I could tell there was that hill there. That's what made me think in my mind. All right, that's 6. Then 7. It's right in here. So they must have surveillance from all of these spots. It was April 2025. There's got to be a camera. I mean, that could be up there. Don't know. Oh, that looks like that one. The video from earlier. Hold on. Yeah, right there. That's it. That's crazy. Look at that. Okay, so let's go ahead and mark that one down. Can I get another boom? Come on. So this is 7. Boom, boom. So, wow, it's kind of a low shot. So what's taking that? Must be right here. Maybe, I'm not sure if that's a camera, but it's definitely just low right in here. Definitely looks like maybe, could be a Ring doorbell just right outside. It's basically right across the street from that, which it could be, I don't know, I think it's just right inside, maybe a Ring doorbell on that. Because I don't think you would put a camera that low for people to steal it, you know? Alright, so there we go. We got that one. That's number 7. And then 8. And that's just at this intersection. You know, I don't know if people saw him there or how they got that. Could be a traffic camera or... But he's just walking around here. And then 9. What are you talking about? I did the same. Checked on other channels since that box doesn't show for members. What, Matt? What do you mean? What are you talking about? And then here is the church that apparently he walked by. And what I would have people do, this time of year, people aren't doing yard work. They're not doing really anything, even around the time he went missing. So I would have people check their buildings, because I could see somebody like him being, you know, disoriented, and he's getting cold, so he just sort of goes into a like a shed of some sort, and he goes to sleep, but he doesn't wake up, and he's still sitting in there, and people just haven't noticed. That's what I would think. You can say boom whenever you want. You don't need to be a mod to say boom. I know there's a lot of mods that are saying boom. Let's see. I don't know what you're saying. I guess there are a lot of mods sitting here. Now, where are the other people out there? Come on, type in. Or the other 80 trolls waiting for something. Waiting for a mess up, you know. Putting something on the screen. Well, they got surprises coming to them. Let's see. As the king of grounds, I dubbed thee an honorary mod. Yeah, there you go. See? I'm a Galio. Did she leave? Where'd you go, Amigalio? Jeez. I don't understand it. Yeah, we'll see. Just amassing the database. These guys are... that's crazy. I did some trickery that they're not aware of. So I guess we'll have to see how that all plays out. In the background, like, damn, you made it. Yeah, well, here's the thing. The only reason we're making goals is because I'm fortunate to have, you know, a few different people that are extending what we would be doing. For example, tonight we'd probably be at like $60 if it wasn't for one or two people. Yeah. It isn't a mod-only thing. I'm a Galio. It isn't. Anybody can type boom in. Hey, I'm a Galio. Check it out. Check it out. Watch. The booms are, if you go down to you're a member, right? So click on the emoji button, and you see how you have the Gray Hughes Investigates emojis? Well, boom is one of those down there. Right? So you just select one of those. See, it's right down there. Anybody, it's the 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the sixth one in. It's not a moderator thing. It's a channel membership, and you're a channel membership. So there you go. You went one of the cool ones. You've been around a long time. I appreciate it. See that? Yeah. No, I'm just saying you can click. I want you to do it. Do it right now for practice. All right? Click on the icon button and then hit the boom button. Okay? The real one. The one that's for anybody. You can do it. Come on, let's do it. It's part of your membership package. You got the hit the little smiley face, and then down there it says Gray Hughes Investigates emojis, and I think you that's like the sixth one in. No, you're not gonna do it for me. All right. So he was over here. So it is kind of like, most of these other ones are over here. And then the last one, which is 12 hours later, he seems to be heading kind of like over here somewhere. I mean, even though it's really slow. But man, I think it's crazy, though, that it's 26 hours later. She's not going to do it, is she? Boom, 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 boom. Come on, I'm a Galio. Check it out, check it out, check it out. Right there. Boom chakalaka. Anyways, if you missed the beginning of the show, this Alex Pretti guy that everybody was treating like he was... no, it said mod boom. Oh, you typed in mod boom? What? It was only 4 mods. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's hilarious. Did somebody actually type that in? Mod boom? Oh. Yeah, what's up? No, I think Timothy Cecil was saying, I'm not sure. He's saying mods boom because there just happened to be 7 moderators in a row that typed in boom. So he's like, mods boom. Anybody can type it in, though. It's like when we find a location, that's what we type in. So now we got this one other one here. So the last one that I got to match up is this one. So I'm going to have to start again. I'm just going to go quickly to each one of these. It's not one. So quickly narrow it to, it's likely not 2. Definitely not 2 either. No, wait, it could be 2. Hold on. Definitely looks similar, the neighborhood, but not the right spot. And 4. Oh, that's what it was just at. So where's 3 then? That's not going to be it. So it's either, now it's 5. We're just goofing around. Thank you. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Chakalaka. That's not what I was looking for. It's this image. Yep, so that's not it. 6 maybe? That can't be 6 because we already found that one. So maybe 8. No, that's not it either. We already got that one. I'm not sure why it keeps going to that, but it seems like I saw that spot. Or maybe this is the church area. No. I can just tell by looking at that. Dun, 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 dun. No. So there's a whole lot that's grass. So you should be able to see an empty lot like that made out of grass. But, I mean, not made out of grass. I mean, there's just grass there. And none of that looks like that. We already did that one. Yeah, it's kind of like that, but that's not it either. Maybe right there? No. Yeah, I don't know where that picture is with the reindeer. This one right here. I don't know where that one is. Well, hold on. Ah, man, if that was just a little clearer, we get a number there. Maybe it's like 1, 1. What was the? Let's see the address. 1. Does that make sense? If that's 13314, maybe. No. Well, that might be it. Because there's a empty field. Ah, no. That's not it. the other addresses. I don't know. Don't see it. I'm sure I could find it, but I don't want to have people just sitting around randomly hoping. How long have I been on here? Oh, 2:36. Okay, I got another 20 minutes I could do this. Hey, look at that. Marty did. I got the coffee, Marty. Look at that. Very cool. Hey, thanks, Marty. I did get a covert coffee. As Timothy Cecil so eloquently said it. It came through. All right. It actually showed up in my email, too. It didn't do the thing where it, didn't show up there. So thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Or let's try to find that one last one. Is there what's going on with these? So we know where that one is. He almost goes to that house. And then this one, is that the one? We found this one, right? No, we haven't found this one. So now we gotta get this one too. The ones we found are that one and that one. So we need this one. So let's try to work on that one next. Okay, I'm gonna start over again. Not one though. And it's maybe could be two. And there's like a couple of red houses over there and a big white one. That's not it. 3. Nope. You guys don't mind me doing this, do you? Alright, that was 4, then you go to 5. God, this seems that house looks pretty good over there, but I don't think that's it. Like one of these, they look just like that. If you look at that one over here on the right, I mean, it looks really similar to that, but I don't think that's it. Weirdly. Because that's not even the same across the street. Alright, well, we're gonna move on. Maybe 6. So you think that they may not be giving us the location of these. No, we did that one. That's 6. 7, I think we found. 6 and 7. So then it would be 8. Hopefully 8's that one. Of course, it's always the last one. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just wondering if some of these they didn't mark. Let me see. I'm going to look for like some buildings around here because... See how there's that one building back there that it's made out of stone with a bunch of windows on it, kind of high. It seems like that would stick out. Be kind of a big building. It's definitely him. Yeah, but right back there, see that? This thing? I wonder if we could just randomly stumble upon that. It's not the hugest area ever, you know. This, the largest, I guess is a better word than hugest. Now, there's a lot of like industrial places there, so it might be hard to find that one specifically. Feels like it's right in here somewhere. You guys even here, or you've fallen asleep already? Hey, thanks. Gina. Gina S for the coffee. No, it looks like Marty sent another coffee in. Thank you. Yeah, I just saw that. Thank you. Very cool. Appreciate that. You guys are really kind. Thank you so much. I saw that. Thanks, Gina. You might be on rewind, Chris O'Connell. A little bit. Maybe just a minute or so. And I just... It doesn't seem like that. 2 of the images they have don't seem to have a time associated with them. They're just kind of... I mean, there's nothing there. Those 6 and 7 are already taken up. We've got those. Although, you know what? Maybe one of them could have been 2, I guess. But See, 5 and 6 are close. And since we have 6 and 7, I wonder if the other ones are sort of around, you know, maybe it goes 5, 6, 7. Not like there's a 1. But whenever they give out a specific address, you would think that... Hey, good night. I'm a gal, yo. Hey, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Appreciate it. And being here. Yeah, this one's crazy, isn't it? Amagalia. I mean, it's weird too because it looked like he was heading towards the water, and then he's not there. He's not at the water. Unfortunately, they've been listening to mediums lately. I was like, oh god, oh boy, here we go. So here's their Facebook page right here. And that's the daughter.
Let's catch up a little bit about my missing dad. Most of you here have been keeping up with this story for the last couple months, and I cannot thank
This is 5 hours.
you enough for how engaged and caring everyone has been so far. It's insane. But if
She should be an auctioneer, man. She talks way faster than I do.
you're new here, here's a super brief rundown. My dad is Dan Davis. He has been missing since November 25th, and since November 26th, we have had absolutely no sight of him whatsoever. So it's a very odd kind of vanishing case. He went missing from the south suburbs of Chicago, and basically we have many reasons to believe that he probably suffered a stroke or some kind of medical episode before he went missing. So he's very disoriented, he has memory loss issues, stuff like that. And no, he does not have a history of any of that kind of stuff, so this all happened very out of the blue. Moments before he went missing, he got in a car accident and his car was towed, so he went missing on foot. He does not have his car with him.
Yeah, let's do it.
Good afternoon. Let's catch up a little episode before he went missing. So he's very disoriented, he has memory loss issues, stuff like that. And no, he does not have a history of any of that kind of stuff, so this all happened very out of the blue. Moments before he went missing, he got in a car accident and his car was towed, so he went missing on foot. He does not have his car with him. All throughout the day on November 25th, we have so much camera footage of my dad wandering around Blue Island, clearly disoriented. But November 26th is the last day we have any camera footage of him.
Oh, wow.
So since then, and since November 20th, like that. And no, he does not have a history of any of that kind of stuff.
That was coming out
to
of the
believe that he
church.
probably suffered a stroke or some kind of medical episode before he went missing. So he's very disoriented. So much camera footage of my dad wandering around Blue Island, clearly disoriented. But November 26th is the last day.
That's the church, right? Let's just go look really quick. Maybe not. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it. Those are big windows going up on the side. Is there a back that looks different than that, though? It's weird because it has a different... It has those big, tall windows. But the door looks different. You see that, though? I mean, that's weird, right? It's got those really tall windows there. Or maybe we're just seeing a portion of the... Let's see. If we were down low like this, what would it look like? Or is there a side to it? That's really weird. Oh, maybe right here there's a camera. That's where it is. And he's walking on that little sidewalk right there. And he goes into that door. There it is. There it is. See that? And then there's all those four. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then a smaller window. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. That's amazing. So he's seen right here. And there must be a camera on this building right here. So... There's a camera on this building that was filming him walking through there. That's crazy. Jeez. All right, so that one, that's really interesting. Let me do a screen grab of that. It's too bad we don't have that video out there, though. And that one would be 9. Okay, so that one, we got that one taken care of. All right, let's go back to this. Maybe she'll give out more.
We have any camera footage of him. So since then, we truly have no idea where he's been. We have a massive, massive group of volunteers that are offering their time for constantly searching, posting online, calling hospitals, calling shelters, calling detention centers, calling police departments, every single thing you can think of, we have people on it. There have also been multiple professional search and rescue teams that have been sent out over the course of the last couple months, and they were searching in wooded areas, in water, bodies of water, and anything that's hard to reach, like train yards, junk yards, stuff like that. We've had drones sent up, fire departments have been helping us. Again, everything you can think of, it's been done, unfortunately. At this point, realistically, there's only so many options of, you know, the reality of where he could be. One of the options being he is no longer in Illinois or in the city.
I think they need to check sheds. I think that's, to me, that's the most logical place. Not the water and thing. I would tell everybody that lives in that, like within 2 miles of there, to check their sheds and outbuildings. Every single one of them.
At all, so that's why we're trying to get the word spread as far and wide as we can across the Midwest, across the country. Maybe he's in another state. I don't know how he would have gotten there, but another option is, of course, maybe the worst has happened and we just haven't found him yet. So that's why we continue to check bodies of water and, you know, all of the hard to reach areas. The current situation is that we've been kind of stuck in this lull in Chicago right now because we haven't had any temperature above 20 degrees for the past like 2 or 3 weeks, and it doesn't look like it's going to be that way anytime soon. That has kind of slowed down our on-foot searches, especially since we've overturned every rock in Blue Island at this point, and these temperatures also make it too dangerous to search bodies of water for, you know, professional search and rescue teams unless they literally see a person in the water. They're not going to just aimlessly send out somebody into 30-degree water. Since it has now been 2 months of my dad being missing, I did clean out his apartment. All of his personal belongings are safe with me and with his best friend. Just because we can't keep paying rent for an empty apartment unit that we don't know if he's going to come back to anytime soon, it just doesn't make any sense. So his stuff is out and it's waiting for him for when he comes back. A question that I get a lot is if I've spoken to any psychic mediums, which I have. I've spoken to about 5 at this point, and they all have something kind of slightly different to say about, you know, where they think my dad is or what.
Wow. What a shock.
They think happened to him. So it got to the point where it's starting to get a little confusing. So I'm just putting that on hold for now, although they
No, put it on hold permanently.
all have been really helpful, which is great right now because...
Well, they're not helpful because they're not giving you anything that's real or anything. So they're not being helpful. It's total bullshit.
It's so cold. We're kind of working on some like internal data gathering stuff and still trying to spread the word as much as we can on social medias. We have our detective working on getting a list of like abandoned homes that are all throughout Blue Island so that we can do a proper organized search of all of the abandoned houses.
Let's see. Hold on. What's going on with this comment here? Out of nowhere, somebody typed in, "We don't want ice in our streets, tearing apart our friends." You know what you don't want? Are the idiots that are in the streets protesting ICE. That's what you don't want. And you don't want a governor and a mayor who get you to protest ICE. Okay? ICE is removing shitty people from the very streets that you're talking about. Man, these people are stupid.
In that area. We're also going to have an officer go double check my dad's car that's still in the tow yard and make sure he didn't leave any personal belongings in there, like in the trunk or the glove box or anything like that. So that's pretty much what we're doing as the core team every day. We continue to talk about him and post about him and think about anything else that we basically just haven't done yet, even if we don't know if it's going to be helpful anymore at this point. We want to do it anyways because we're kind of hitting a wall on, you know, resources and things that we haven't done yet. And it's kind of this weird agonizing, like, sit and wait for something to pop up, even though we're not going to just sit around and do nothing, but we, you know. But anyways, a lot of people on here always ask how you can help, even if you live out of state, out of country, out of the city.
Hey, good work, Marty. Get a boom. Hey, Marty. All right. Boom. It's called Whack-a-Troll.
Whatever, and there's plenty of ways that you can help remotely. First of all, you can keep up with daily updates on this whole operation if you follow Find Dan Davis on Facebook. It's this massive Facebook group that my mom has been manning for the last 2 months. In the description of that Facebook page, you can find a link that I made to a public Google folder that has an FAQ. It has a list of ways you can help. It has all of the printable files that you can print to make your own flyers for my dad. It has all kinds of stuff, so that's a great way to stay involved if you want to. You can print your own flyers and put them up at your local hospitals, your local gas stations, your local public transportation places. Even if you live in a totally different state or nowhere near Illinois, you can always do that, because spreading the word in general is something that we really, really want to do. You can also call your local hospitals and ask them if they have a Dan Davis in there. Also check for John Doe's as well, just in case you didn't have any identification on him. You can describe my dad and see if anybody there matches. You can call your local police stations and send them his flyer and inform them on the situation. You can call local homeless shelters. Like there's so many things you can do in your own town or your own city. So obviously just continuing to share posts like these and talk about him face to face with people, like your neighbors or your friends, or at dinner with people, like just keeping his name circulating is essential right now. Because honestly, my biggest fear is still like this goes on for so long that everybody eventually like gets bored or forgets, or they don't like know how to help anymore because they've done everything. Like I don't feel like that's happening anytime soon, because everyone has been so amazing, but obviously it's a fear in the back of my head. So just please keep talking about him. However, I did want to let you guys know, as soon as we have a day that's above like 30 degrees in the Chicago area and it's a little bit safer to be outside for a while, we are going to do a nationwide Find Dan Day, which I'm very much looking forward to. It's going to require everybody to participate in something around the country to help find my dad. As soon as we have a day figured out for that, I am going to post it here, and everyone is invited. There's no excuse not to do something, okay? So that's coming. But I still want to keep this energy up until whenever that happens. So I believe that's our current situation. I still don't have update on his whereabouts. We still don't have any solid leads. I wish we did. And now listen, I'm not religious, I'm not spiritual or woo-woo in any way, but I mean, I can't help but notice like little random things that have been happening to us over the last couple weeks, where I feel like wherever my dad is, you know, I feel like he is like fucking with us at this point. And we're starting to notice little random signs around where we're like, there's no explanation for that. That was just too relevant, too weird. Like, for example, I moved all my dad's stuff out of his apartment, and his prized possession is his collection of Smurf figurines from, like, the 80s. And then I was at Target yesterday, and I saw this. A Smurfs-themed soda? Why is there even a Smurfs-themed drink? Why are they relevant right now? That was weird. Then one of our friends was driving through alleyways in Blue Island, just kind of looking around, following his pathway, trying to find stuff, and she passed this. That's not like a name on a mailbox or anything. That's just like, why does a door just say Dan? What is that? What is that? And then another thing, somebody in our group chat asked what my dad's middle name was, and I said it was Clyde. And then that same day, another one of our friends was reading like a children's storybook to her kids. And look at the name of one of the characters that popped up in the book. She was like, I don't even remember the last time I saw this name before today. Like, what is that? There's a couple other things too. Like, there's a certain song that reminds me of my dad that he would sing all the time around the house as a kid, and it started playing at a wedding that I was photographing the other day. And then I was at the store a few days after that, and the song randomly came on in the store, and I was just like, huh, hi dad. Like, out loud I said that, and as soon as I said that, the song cut off and changed to a different song. Like, the song didn't end, it like cut. And I was like, okay, hello weird to you too, wherever you are.
See, I believe in stuff like that. Yeah, remember, you've heard the balloon story that I've got, right? I mean, I'm sure everybody here has heard. Is there anybody here that hasn't heard the balloon story? I mean, it seems like everybody in here has been around long enough where you've heard the balloon story. Yeah, it sucks. I mean, she's got so much energy,
I guess. And lastly, if you guys saw my video where I was talking about the Wendy plant, basically it's a plant that my dad has had ever since I was born, and he's kept it alive for like 30 years. He gave me a little baby version of it a couple years ago, which I've been able to keep alive ever since then. It hasn't grown a new leaf in like months, and it's made me really sad, and I was really hoping it would grow a new leaf soon, and look what I saw yesterday. She's got a new leaf growing. Come on now. It's been months with nothing, and now we finally have this. Okay. So anyways, there's more, but you know, maybe this is whatever we're reaching. We're desperate for signs at this point, but I don't know. Just me personally, I'm taking these random coincidences as good omen that we're on the right track, or that it's going to be okay. You know, I don't know. So I know this video is kind of a random jumble of things, but I just want to close this out by saying, if you think you saw my dad, even if you feel like it wasn't him, or you don't want to seem crazy or whatever, we need you to call either one of these numbers on our flyer right here. One is the Chicago Police Detectives, and the other one is an anonymous tip line that you can call. Be as detailed as you can about your sighting, please. Okay, I'm out of time, so I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I hope I have a better update for you soon. So.
Yeah, see what I was saying though? Wouldn't you, if you were missing, you'd want a daughter like this. That's just absolutely, you know, got it all, you know, just obviously really sharp. Puts out videos, keeps people updated, etc. I think everybody's heard it. I'm trying to see if she'll send me the surveillance footage. I don't know. I'm just waiting for. She's actually typing to me this the daughter right here. Her name is Wendy. Yeah, she seems really, I mean, just, yeah, quick. I mean, I guess we got to keep covering this too, you know? I mean, it feels like there's still more to kind of look at. There's just a lot of different elements. I'd love to see the full surveillance shots, though, and put it all together, all of it. Let's see. I mean, I think she's doing an amazing. I just told her that. I mean, I think she's doing an amazing job with something so difficult. Missing persons cases are the worst of the worst. I think they're even. I think the worst is a missing person presumed murdered by somebody. Those are the worst. But a missing person case is not far behind because you spend the rest of your life wondering where the hell, what happened, you know? And so, you know, everybody, I mean, there comes a point where you'd rather find them not alive than to spend the rest of your life wondering what happened. You know, some people think it's nice to have the wonder because you can always picture that they're still alive somewhere walking around. But I don't know. I think the stress of every single day wondering is really a little too much. What happened? Have you heard the story where Gray was getting a ride home from soccer camp? And it was actually basketball camp. But yeah, that was a pretty weird one. He just kept driving. I think this might be why subconsciously I'm kind of interested in the Bragg story that we talked about earlier. Oh, well, the balloon. Okay, for the ones that haven't heard the balloon story, that was March. My brother died. His birthday is March 9th. He died March 13th, 1986. And it was at a fraternity house. He had some weird arrhythmia heart thing. And then the next year, like a year later, you know, March is a rainy time of year over here. So I went out to the basketball court that they named after my brother, the Grant Hughes Memorial Basketball Court. And I was shooting hoops, just kind of shooting baskets out in the rain on a really shitty rainy day. And I was thinking about him, and it was on his birthday. So it was about, you know, a year minus 4 days later, like 360 days. And I look up in the sky, and I see a little dot. And it was like, wow, what's that? And I just kept shooting baskets, and then it just kept floating down, floating down. And I could tell it was a balloon. And then it landed in my hands on the court, and it was a big happy birthday cellophane happy birthday balloon, and it lands right in my hands on his birthday in the rain shooting hoops. I mean, what are the odds of that? I mean, that balloon could have floated 150 yards left. It could have gone 150 yards to the right. It could have flown 10 miles that way, that way, that way. Instead, it lands right in my freaking hands on the basketball court on his birthday. And then I brought it inside the house, and it floated on the ceiling for a week. Now, that stuff there might have something to do with the cold weather, then it's warm in the house, something like that. But pretty wild story, I got to tell you. So, you know, sometimes I do believe in stuff like that. That's why that part which she just said when the song just stopped at that moment, that's crazy. Why would it do that? That's right. What did I call that video? When I was doing personal paranormal channel, that's what we typed in. I think it was called A Message from the Sky or something like that. Hey, very cool, Marty. All right. Chris O'Connell. Yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence. There's a whole bunch of different things like that. Really weird stuff. What was the other? Oh, yeah, like my mom was, you know those cartoons that were in the paper? I don't know if it was, you know, which cartoon it was. But it was like right after my brother died, she's reading the cartoons and it says, there was Mr. and Mrs. Death in a house. And then a person's knocking on their door, you know, like, don't knock on death's door, right? But, you know, but what the weird part is it wasn't just that. There was another square, and the person knocking on the door said, hey, is there anybody in there with the initials GH? And it's like, what's funny about that? I mean, you know, it's like there's Mr. and Mrs. Death sitting in a house, and then there's a guy knocking on the door. The next scene is the guy saying, hey, is there anybody in there with the initials GH? I mean, I don't know what the hell was funny about that, but that was my brother's favorite cartoon. You know, like he would always read it, so my mom read it, and it's still to this day, I don't know what the funny part was. Do you? Like, what's funny about that? You know, I mean, there isn't even the slightest bit of chuckle, kind of like somebody else that didn't have something bad happen. What would they think was funny? You know, I went and saw it, you know, because she kept it. And I was like, man, that's ridiculous. There's nothing remotely, but you know, but then that's a little different because somebody did make the cartoon. It made it to the paper. So then you'd have to ask them, hey, why did you do that? The balloon one is like, okay, that's just too random. What are the odds of that? Yeah, there's stuff, all kinds of stuff, weird things like that. She said that she might be able to send me some tomorrow. Okay, cool. All right, you guys. Well, I think that's going to do it. I got to get up early in the morning and take my mom to the doctor. So thank you to I'm a Galio, who's been a Megazoid for 5 months. Then she gifted 5 memberships. Maybe she'll be a mod someday. She's always cool. Then we can have everybody blue in here at the same time. Let's see. Then we have Lady Jane. And Lady Jane became a new member. And then Cheryl Bullock gifted one. And then Timothy Cecil. And then Michelle H. And then Paul Marino. And Chris O'Connell came in with the gifted 5. And then Whaley Awesome. And then Chris O'Connell gifted another 5. Then Jen, who had her good thoughts on the Bragg case. Then we had Chris O'Connell, did a super chat, and then joined in on the $2 hauler thing. And then we had I'm a Galio there, and then Birdman. And then Chris O'Connell gifted 10. It's like, well, geez, there you go. That made a big difference there. And then Michelle H. And then Chris O'Connell did 5, another 5, another 5. And then I'm a Gallio gifted 1. And then Jackie's. And then I gifted 5. Then over there on the, let's see, what do we got? We have 2 buckets of coffee by Marty's Bar and Grill. And then we got another one from Gina. And then we also have one from Lisa Valenzuela. Thank you. Now, what are these? Now, somebody sent me another missing person case, so I'll have to check that one out. I like doing these missing person cases and different things like this. This is sort of what I was meant to do, these types of things where you map things out, you put pieces together, you kind of, try to add clarity to an otherwise sort of confusing situation. And, yeah, it's just hard to do, because it's like YouTube, I think, changed something. I don't know what it is, but you have. I just also think there's just so many people that have inundated the true crime space. It's just sort of, I don't know. It's kind of frustrating the way it's all been happening. But anyways, thank you guys. Really appreciate it. Special thanks out there to Chris O'Connell and Marty's Bar and Grill again. Very cool. You guys, made a huge difference tonight. And everybody else who contributed too, appreciate it. And people just watching, thank you for being here. Hit that like button. And as I always say, share the video and subscribe. All right. So that's it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 29th. And then we have the 30th. And then we'll see what the hell happens after that. I'm actually really nervous about our donation night. I think it's been really difficult. So I hope we can have a good one. We'll see. Good night. Addis Reality. Oh, there it is. Let's see. Addis Reality. There you go. And good night. Lisa, Paulette, Jessica, Timothy, Twisted, Chicken Wing, Jessica, Michelle H., Marty's Bar and Grill, Paulette Leonard, Chris O'Connell. Who else up there? I think that's it. And Jennifer way up there. Jennifer Epic. Okay, thanks everybody. We'll see you guys later. And, as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now.
Yes,
And
quite a
during this
while
whole
now,
time,
Gray.
I have not seen one person. No, I said that. That is a crime dissector, thug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture.
cool.
Crime collector.
They stole it from you?
Connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor.
And I'm meaner than a speckle with a vector.
On his pector, with all respect, y'all. Just remember, I've a temple fucking checked ya.
I have no agenda, I'm no pretender.
And I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody. Talk to you later. Yeah, I was trying to figure out, what do you mean you used to have your law and crime and they took it from you? Well, that's crazy. Oh, man. Uh-oh. Oh, all of the, my sound effects turned off for some reason. Uh-oh, new audio device detected. What's going on with that? Can you guys still hear me, or? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the show. Testing, testing, testing. I don't know if you can still hear me, but thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys later. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.